Alright, before you say anything, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Jack, where's the VR content? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really enjoy making VR content. I'm kind of running out of things to do. Somebody recommended I play Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades VR, and I'm really tempted to do that, but you know, broke college student life be like.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
Don't assume I'm just abandoning VR. I know a lot of people subscribe because of VR. Just don't forget, I'm always open to suggestions. Just, you know, give me a chance. Welcome back, guys. You made it to the third part of the video series. Congratulations. Today we are going to make this very beautiful house and build end up being way more practical in the actual forest gameplay with cannibals, monsters, and mutants. Now, some obvious things you want are walls to keep them out, traps to kill them when you're not around, and some defenses you can use. So, I'm going to start off by clearing some trees. Now, I do think it's important to have some trees around because it gives your property, I guess you want to call it, a little bit more life. But where I want my wall to run, I'm going to have to cut down some trees. Alright, that should be good for now. A couple things to note when you're building your wall. Don't make it too big. It will cost a lot of logs. Another thing to note is also don't make it too small to the point where it's hugging the very edge of your property. You never want that. That's claustrophobic, and you're gonna hate your property. The whole idea of having a wall is to protect your bigger house, not to just make stronger walls on your house. Other things to note: know your location. Like right here, I'm next to a cliff, so if I really wanted to, I could make my walls extend all the way down and use my cliff as a natural barrier against attackers and mutants. But for this build, I'm going to assume I am not near a cliff just to make it a little easier. So, first thing I'm going to do, actually, is get rid of these pre-built houses I built in the first video. Get out of here. Alright. I'm going to start off the wall up here near this tree, which I also forgot to cut down. So let's just take care of that real quick. Alright, let's start for real this time. Now, I don't want you to use custom walls, right? I don't want you to use these. I want you to use the defensive walls, which should be under this area right here. Right here, defensive walls. They work very similar, except they're spiky on the top, and they hold more health, or they have more health, and they will defend more. So, one thing I would say is when you're making a gate, make that gate, and make it symmetrical to your path, like that. For me, that's what I did. I always make my doors come out to a little bit of a point, so they have like some significance to their location. Just run this back here. I like to hug trees. That's just what I liked for design purposes. Make it come right along here. And in fact, I might make it weave through here. You just gotta change it up. I can make it go a little tighter, the house, this way, because there's nothing back here. And let's loop it back around. Having more than one gate is never a bad idea. I'm going to be putting another one right here. Alright, let's put the first gate in right here and here. And I think that when the gates are like that, they want them to open inward, and I like my gates to open inward personally, because if I'm outside running from something, I can keep running without the gates swinging out and hitting me in the face. Alright, I also want another gate here. This one can just be a single gate. I will quickly build a path over to that, just for some looks. Alright, and let's build the wall. See, that does swing outwards, so I had it wrong. But that's okay. It's not that big of a difference. Yep, that swings outwards. Alright, I have a little hack I can use to build all ghosts. I am not about to go around and clear all of those out, so I'm glad that's a feature. Alright, now we have our enclosure. This feels already a lot safer to the outside world. But let's say you hear people banging in, you know, they can break the walls still. They're not perfect. They're not completely unbreakable. Some things I would recommend. From the outside, sometimes it's also very hard to tell where your door is. Things I do is, here, first let me open the door so I can see where it is, because it's a little hard to find. Alright, it's there. Here, I gotta move these. Okay. Some things I do, I'll put like a significant post, like a rock post, like that, on both sides. This one has a rock here, which kind of helps, but I'm gonna put this over here too for symmetry purposes. And then inside of that, I'll put a skull lamp. Why I put a skull lamp in it, well, I don't know. It looks interesting. There. Now even when your door is shut, you can kind of tell where your gate's going to be. Now, you can put rock paths if you want. It's not my thing. I like the rock paths to begin in my base and end on the outside. But if you did, you could just drag it off in any direction and go on your merry way. Other things I have done in the past are making some like bone fences leading up to it. I'm going to actually try that. Now this rock is going to make my day a lot harder, but oh, it actually worked out. Never mind. I'm going to have to cut this tree down as well really quick, because trees suck. Sorry, Mr. Beast. They just suck. Get rid of these bushes. Now, this tree is also in the way, but I'm going to assume everything outside past this is just not important. Other things I'll do, if these bone things actually do end here, I might even put some more skull lamps on the end of them. There we go. Alright, for these, I'm not going to worry about doing the rocks. You can do that if you want. I'm just going to put 2 skull lanterns next to the door. Like yonder. That's another reason to have this log on the outside. You can see your door much easier. But hey, maybe you like that sleek look. Or these walls are the defensive wall spikes. Now these link right onto these walls like this. And you put them there and you build them. The only problem is you can't click and drag and do customs. They stick only to the preset 5 log set like that. So, in creative, it's very hard to build a very large number of them. But they do give your wall a lot of extra health. They do not, I repeat, do not actually do damage to enemies, despite their appearance. Now, in survival, these are very expensive. So where I tend to put them is just near the weak points in the wall, like the main gate where you might be chased in. So for this video, I'm just going to do that. I'm not even going to bother putting them on the other wall. Other things to maybe consider are these defensive wall spikes. You definitely are supposed to put them in a long line to protect your base. But for me, I'm just going to kind of leave them out in the open here. They look kind of cool. What can I say? Alright, now these are all fine and dandy, but these aren't off, like these won't actually fight back. And now I'm sure as you've seen me scroll through the book, you've seen things like the catapult. or the happy birthday trap, the deadfall trap, the rope swing trap, the noose trap. Now, some of these work better than others. I can say that for sure. My least favorite is definitely, I'm going to have to say the catapult. It's kind of a pain to use, it's hard to aim, and it takes up a lot of whatever you use as ammo. But I like to put them on high perches, and I have just the place to put it. Up here, up on my so-called loft, I'm going to put a catapult. I actually might put two. I don't know. Now, this does ruin the sort of aesthetic of the house, right? This is just a big thing up on the house, and it looks a little weird, right? Well, yes, it does, but like I said, in survival, you have to choose, what's more important to you. Now, they got little storage containers for whatever you plan on throwing out of them, but they're just not the best. So you see there, I can load it up with stuff and launch it, but I don't want to destroy my own wall, so I'm not going to do that. Things that make it look a little nicer. I'm not going to do it, but if it's on ground, I like to surround them with spikes. Not full walls, but just singular spikes like that. Just makes it look kind of cool. What can I say? Alright, I usually don't put traps in the base, but if you really want, in your open yards like this, you could even put some happy birthday traps or rope swing traps. Now, rope swing traps are special because they go in trees, and actually might be one of the best ones to have in your base because they're so minimalistic looking. So as you see here, this is how they work. You trip the wire, and you get smacked, and usually that kills enemies in one hit. And they don't look terrible, you know what I mean? Unlike if you had, let's say, this thing sitting in your front yard. It's a little weird. What can I say? Alright, so let's put some more of these things around here. Put one there. That's perfect placement. You can just scatter these all along your outer wall. How do they work? Well, let me turn my lighter on here. You walk into it. Bam. And they will not die from this, actually, which is a little weird. What they do is they just get stuck to it, and then you have to go peel them off and kill them yourself. So, not one of my favorite traps, but it's very fast, as you can see. Very fast. That will never miss, usually. Let's try some of the other ones out. Deadfall trap. Let's put this one just right over here in the woods. Alright, this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a log on a hinge. If you trip the hinge, or hit the trap, stick, or whatever, it falls. Right? Pretty self-explanatory. Let's grab a stick. Reset it. Now this one, it falls decently fast, and it will kill them like every time. And yeah, you can't dodge it. Last trap I'm going to show is the noose trap. This one's definitely not the most practical because it has like a one-time use. Well, not to say that they all don't, but this one can definitely only hit one of them. The way it works, and I would need an enemy to show you, but I can't do that, is an enemy would walk up, trip this, and I know what you're thinking, oh my god, it hangs them. No, unfortunately it doesn't. It just catches them by the foot, and they hang there, and they do not die. Eventually they will escape. Basically what you do is you come along and you smack them to death while they're hanging there. It's definitely not the best one, but it's definitely hilarious to watch the cannibal struggle hanging upside down. I have also seen somebody's base online where they had a large structure, very tall, kind of like this house, and then instead of the catapults where I put it, they set one of these up, lured an enemy up there, and then got him caught in it, so there was permanently an enemy hanging by his leg over the front of their base. It was very funny. Alright, well, the traps are definitely up to you. Certain ones, like these ones in the trees, can only be placed in trees. So these ones can be placed more significantly and like strategically. Like right there, like that's a perfect place to have one of those traps. This one, meh, not crazy about it, but It hurts. Alright, thanks for watching part 3 of this video, guys, the defensive portion. Now, of course, now that the build is done, you can imagine how long this would take in survival, and it can, but the thing about the forest that makes it so special is it is multiplayer, and when it is multiplayer, you can build bases bigger than this in less time than you can imagine. It is much more fun to play this game with friends. If I recommend you get this game, I would say make sure you have a friend who has it, or even a very large group of friends who has it. And that's all for now. I might come back to this later. I'm going to save this build. Maybe I'll come back and test it against some enemies. I'll switch it off at creative. I might bring some friends in, and maybe we can trash it. Leave in your comments what you want to see me do with this base. Oh, look, the flowers grew. Alright, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you want me to do with this base. I can blow it up. I can test it against enemies. I can send thousands of mutants at it at once. I can bring some friends in to do it with me. Just let me know in the comments. Maybe, hey, if you have the game and you want to participate, let me know, dude. I'd be happy to have you in a video. Until then, peace out. Jack the Wolfman signing out. I don't know. Stupid YouTuber outro number 23. Thanks. Bye. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I'm doing a Forest VR playthrough soon. Now that is a survival game, which means it's probably going to get divided into a ton of parts, and if it's popular enough, I could even keep doing it later down the line. I hope you enjoy it when it comes out, and please, please be anticipated for it.